Welcome back to this fun edition of Public Affairs on Peach. Do you know who else is part of the Big Atlanta Science Festival? Our friends at Zoo Atlanta. Michelle and Becky are here along with a friend. This is Rico. Tell me about, oh, hi Rico. Hello Rico.
Can you tell me your name? Good job.
Tell me about Rico. How long have you had him, and it's part of a big program you have at the zoo?
Yeah, so we've had Rico for about 4 years. She's about 26 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and she is a yellow-naped Amazon parrot.
Oh my gosh. And are they, where can they be found?
They are naturally found in South America in forested areas.
And you have really a big program where you provide enrichment for birds at the zoo.
Yep, so we do lots of enriching for all of our animals. And enrichment, are you going to tell them? You're going to tell them all about the enrichment?
Yeah.
Yes. So enrichment is basically anything that we offer to the animals for them to play with and produce some natural behaviors. And a very common natural behavior for parrots is destroying things. Parrots love to destroy stuff. So Rico here has her little carrot. You're going to be afraid of it today because it's coming out of my hand? Normally she picks it up out of a bucket.
Well, you want to try and put it down?
Apparently it's scary today. Do you want to play with that?
You can get on the table and play with it now, and you're going to have a family camp.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're super excited. We're going to have a family safari zoo camp in which parents and their kids can come to the zoo and learn about the enrichment that we are offering to our animals. They'll get to meet an animal care specialist like Becky and one of our animal ambassador birds like Rico. And as part of the program, they're actually going to get to make enrichment for some of our animals at the zoo, and then we'll actually put some of that enrichment in with those birds, and the families will actually get to see potentially those animals playing with the actual enrichment.
Well, what kinds of enrichment are we talking about?
Well, it depends. There's lots of different birds we're going to be focusing on, like Cecil, our cassowary, very different than some of our vultures. And so it can be anything from nesting materials, so paper mache rings, to different other feeding items that they particularly like.
What would you put in for a vulture, per se?
I don't know, Becky, what would you put in for the vulture?
So vultures, you know, they're well known for their bald heads because they actually stick their heads into carcasses to eat the insides of animals that are already deceased. And so something like a paper mache ball with food inside can be produces natural behaviors like that. So they're going to stick their head in the paper mache.
Rico thinks you're talking to her.
Yes, like they would a carcass out in the wild.
Oh my goodness. Well, can we try and see if Rico will walk on the table and we can watch her and see how she does? Now, usually you don't have her out and about.
So Rico is one of our ambassador animals, so she participates in our World of Wild Bird Show, and you can see her around the zoo hanging out with her keepers as well, but she is not one of the birds on exhibit, like our vultures, which you can see all the time. Yeah, it's a clear table. That's new, huh?
So you teach her how to do these things, and she was not trying to stay on that table very long. Man, you teach her what to do and how to act? I mean, are there other trainers that work with them?
We have about 11 trainers in our ambassador department. We all work with all the animals with us, and each zoo animal has trainers as well, keepers that work with them and train them to mostly participate in their own husbandry or voluntary medical procedures. So one of the things we teach the animals to do is to voluntarily get their flu shot. So our gorillas all get a flu shot every year.
Oh my goodness.
And they'll just press their back right up against the mesh, and the keepers can just, boom, give them a flu shot, no big deal.
Now, Michelle, talk about how important the Science Festival is for you all at the zoo.
Oh, it's a great opportunity for us to highlight how all the careers at the zoo have a real science focus and how we really are trying to bring awareness to the fact that animals, especially specific animals in different areas of the world, are in trouble, and how we, each and every one of us, can do small things to make a difference to protect animals in the wild. And all of our programs have something to do with that. Just like Rico, you can work to protect Rico out in the wild, Rico's cousins, I should say.
Oh yeah, because Rico, where did you find him?
Rico actually came from a family who had her for the first 21 years of her life.
Gotcha.
And they retired to a climate that wasn't great for Rico, so we were fortunate to get her at the zoo.
Oh, thank you so much for bringing Rico and coming along. We appreciate you, Becky, Michelle, and thanks to all of our guests for joining us.
Thank you.
And remember, it's now noon for those of you who forgot to set your clocks forward for daylight saving time. We'd love for you to join in on the conversation, or if you have a topic you'd like to see us cover, let us know. Send us an email email to publicaffairs@cbs46.com. And be sure to like Public Affairs on Peach on Facebook. There we post episodes so you can get any information that you may have missed. Be sure to join us for another edition of Public Affairs on Peach. We'll be back next week at 11:30 a.m. We're going to let you see some more of what you can expect at the Science Festival. And this is liquid nitrogen. Wow, graham cracker in there, and look at what he's going to do with this graham cracker. Don't try this at home, picking it up, and look at that. Look at that. And he's fine. I promise you he's fine. Perfect.